Welcome back, guys, to my YouTube channel. In today's we're going to continue with our second part. In the first part we had a basic introduction about what kind of feature and we will be building. So I have here my Microsoft Visual Studio Code editor here with one simple folder called TDD Poker Project, and I have my PowerShell open here. So now we're going to go ahead and start writing the code. Okay, very first thing we're going to do as a Node developer is we're going to use npm command and npm init command, and it will ask you a series of questions. Let's say I want to say a poker project, and version is that simple poker project, and I'm going to use most of the default value here. Okay. Alright, so what it did is basically create a full package.json file for us. Here is our JSON file with some of the property like name, version that we enter in the terminal. And the most important thing that we need for the test-driven development is this property called script, and it has a test value, test property, subproperty here, and it is as value as some random text right now. Okay, we will have to change that one. Okay, we will revisit that one. So next thing we're going to do, now we have a package.json file, and then let's go into our terminal and create a couple of folders here. I'm going to create a directory called app folder here. This app folder, all our application labeled code or production labeled code goes in there. And also we're going to create another directory called test. As you have guessed by now, those two directories are two different purposes. The code, main label code, goes into app folder, and all our test code goes into a directory called test. Okay, that is that. Next thing we're going to do, remember this is we'll be writing our project using test-driven development using TDD, and we'll be using tools like Mocha and Chai. So that's the next thing we're going to do. Let's go ahead and install Mocha as a dependency into our project, as a dev dependency, development dependency. So as it is downloaded, as you can see, our package.json file got changed and added a new element here called dev dependency with the Mocha with the given version as a dependency for that project. And at the same time, let's go ahead and also install Chai as another dependency. And the next thing we can do, since it's going to be a little web application, so we could write our web service with strictly in a Node.js, but the Express is really awesome middleware for it. So let's go ahead and install the npm also, Express also. Oh, my spelling. Sorry for that, guys. Alright, as you can see, it downloaded 3 dependencies that we need for Chai, Express, and Mocha. Alright, as our goal is to be writing a poker game, basically, right? So that means let's say now, let's go ahead into our test folder and add a new file called card-test.js. I'm going to follow a certain convention here. So for example, I'm creating a card test for object called card that we'll be creating later. Since we're not going to write card first because we are writing test first, because we are following strictly test-driven development. So in here, very first thing we're going to do, and it says we're going to use a strict mode. If we use a strict mode, well, we can, we would be able to use some of the new feature of the ECMAScript 6, such as, a lot of construct like constant and late and the arrow function, all kind of cool features. Okay, that's the first thing we can do. And let's have a reference to Mocha. And it's a reference to chai. So just for the people, the chai is basically assertion library that's compatible with the Mocha. So in test-driven development, we can use a couple of I would say we can test using something called assert feature, assertion, or expectation, or suit features provided by the chai. So my favorite, I prefer expectation. Expectation is kind of based on the behavior-driven development, basically. So that is what I will be using, but we can use assert, whichever feature you like. It's totally up to you. Using the chai, it has the expect. We're going to use the expect version of the chai. That is that, and of course the next thing we need, bar my card here. We're going to require okay. These are some of the thing that we need to require. So for example here, this one is very interesting because we are saying, hey, go into the app directory and find the card object, card JavaScript file, right? Of course this guy doesn't exist. We'll be creating that once our test start failing. Okay. So what Mocha does, it provides a couple of constructs here. The first one is a describe here. Describe takes 2 parameters. So basically, this is going to be your top level suite. So we're going to decide what your test is about. So in this case, I can say testing card modules or something like that. And the arrow function. So for the people who are not familiar with the ECMAScript 6 or about arrow function, this is equivalent to just a callback function, something like that. They are exactly the same. Okay, just less amount of typing, or it's a better readability, I would say. And this is a very common feature if you guys come from C# background or a lot of other. It's kind of like a lambda expression. They call it arrow function in JavaScript. Anyway, alright, so the other thing we can do about describe is we can nest it. For example, this could be a top level description. Maybe you can have a more modular. If that's what you want, you can say you can give this description here, testing the first feature of the card object or whatever, right? So testing card module. And finally, there is before you actually write your test, so there is an it function. Testing card in our arrow function, just like the others. Okay, inside this block right here, this is where we will be writing our code. Okay, this is where we'll be writing our code. So very first thing I'm going to do, let's say I'm going to say my card variable is going to say card. Let's define a simple card object. The card will have a face value, let's say 9 as a face value of the card, and the suit of the card, let's give it as a diamond, and perhaps the descriptive name maybe we can say 9 or whatever, and I prefer to give one more value here. This is like a numerical value because based on a different kind of game, card values varies, especially for ace, right? So this is our basic structure of the card object, and then this. So once we have this object right here, I was telling you about expect. What we can do with the expect object now, we can say, all right, we are expecting my card. Very first thing we want to make sure is not null. This is really cool testing. So basically, right now it's pure English. It's saying, hey, my card should not be null. It's not null, right? So this is going to be very fast test we're gonna run. So let's go ahead and save our file, and then to do a testing, we go into our terminal here, and we're going to say npm install. Oh, sorry, npm test. Of course, it's not going to run it because there is a reason it's not running. Remember, like when we created our package.json file, this file right here, it was expecting some location where it can run the Mocha, but we have not specified that one. So without that, it has no way how to run tests in the Mocha, right? So this, for example, this is the module right here. In this module, we have Mocha here, and then in the bin folder, if you go inside the bin folder, there is this guy right here. We need to give that path here. So I made some mistake here. Not there, sorry. In the script tag, in this particular section here, so I'm going to specify. So I'm going to say node okay. Node modules, and that's bin and Mocha, something like that. And let's go ahead and run our command npm.test again. Yeah, that is good. So remember, this time it is saying, this is really cool because it's saying, all right, this error message is saying, hey, you are expecting a card JavaScript file, but there is no JavaScript file. So basically, it's going into this test here and then looking for that JavaScript file to download, right? I mean, require here in line number 10, which does not exist. That's why that we're getting that very nice error. So the next thing we can do, as you might have guessed by now, let me collapse this one. So I'm going to app folder here and then go into create a file here, card.js. Okay, let's see if now our test passes. Of course, you know, as a keen observer, of course we haven't done anything to pass, but our error message should be different from what we got. So very first thing right away out, it is telling us something. So let's see what this test is telling us. Okay, so right now in our first description, it described here we have this nicely formatted test here, and then the second one, see this indentation is really cool because this Mocha automatically figures out that's the second thing right here, and this is the testing card, this is the it right here, and the error message that we're getting is basically saying, alright, card is not a function. See how nice it is? It is because it's not a function because inside the card JavaScript file we don't have anything. It's not a function. Hey, I don't know what to do, that's not a function. That's a very nice message. Let's go ahead and write some code and make sure our unit test passes. Let's define card object. As we kind of incline in our test, structure of our card gonna look something like this, right? I'm just gonna copy this one just for the references when so my card will have, I would call it a face value of the card. It will have a suit, whether it's a diamond or heart or whatever, and maybe name, based, you know, description of the card, and then I would say a numeric value. Okay. just by doing this, let's see if we run our code again. Do you think it would pass? Of course it doesn't pass because this is card. That card is not a function. Okay, there is a couple of things. Since it's a Node.js application, how does it know without exporting this one? We should be export this one, right? Exports our card and assign that card here. This is we are saying, hey, we need to be exported, or it should be available to whoever is using it. This is a Node way of doing things, and let's see what happens now. Yo, it's good. So this is now passing. As you can see right here, we have a very our test right here is working fine. So basically we see the green. That's what we want to see, and it provides kind of feedback. Okay, that's first thing is good. So basically now we have object that is returning not null. The next kind of test we kind of do here. If let's say since we are just testing right here, now we can give a meaningful name. Make sure the card is not null test. That kind not is not null. Okay, or something like that. This kind of seems like a sequel. Okay. Anyways, so this is a better name. Make sure the card is not null, right? So okay, cool. So we can create a new test here. That is already passing. We can say, all right, make sure card has. Let's make sure the card has all the valid property. Card has valid properties. Oh, I cannot. Properties. Alright, we already validated that the card is good. So let's say here's my now instead of saying that, I'm gonna say, alright, my card has property called face value. Let's run this test here. Now basically we have the same card here in this block, and we are saying okay, let's give a different name here. And so basically we should have a card with a property called face value. Let's see if this one passes. Okay. Okay, right now we have two tests. First one is passed, one of them is failing. We have a failing test right here. Make sure make sure the card is not null is failing, because it is telling you why it is failing also. Let me make it a little bigger. So it is telling this card module testing, make sure the card has valid properties. So basically expect it empty to have a property face value. So this object right here is right now empty, it doesn't have any property, but we are expecting it to have a face value property. Okay, we have to, as you guess now, the next thing we can get a feedback from the test runner and go back into the code, make changes. And so next thing we can do, we can add a property. This the face value. We can create a new property in this and then assign the value that comes in. Just by doing that, our test, we have all green. We have a 2-unit test and both of them are passing. So far so good, exciting, right? Okay, not so much, but since we want all those 4 properties, let's write this. Okay, not only it will have a face value, of course it will have property called suit. It will also have property called name, and also will have this numeric value property, all of those. And as you guess, if we run this now, because it should fail because those doesn't exist. Okay, so we have a failing test right here. We are expecting right now, this is our expected object has only face value that we are passing, but doesn't have a property called suit. That's what it's complaining about. So basically, this piece of code, line number 34, failed right away. So it even hasn't reached these two. Okay, let's go ahead and change this, and we can say, all right, this give us our card has a suit now, and our card also has a name with a value that we're passing to the constructor, and then another property called numeric value. That's why. I have a typo there. I just want to make sure it's a numeric, not some typo numeric. Okay. If I run this code now, let's make sure all of those are passing. Okay, still not passing. It's not happy with the numeric value. So, oh, see, I have a typo in here. I mean to say this. That's really good. When you're writing a test-driven development, you can cast all your typo or whatever. This is really, really cool. So all of them are the same, and making sure, assuming I don't have a typo in my test, it should pass. All right, this is so far so good. So when we do a test-driven development, we always always go slowly, meaning like we want to make sure our code is robust. Basically test is providing the feedback to us what to do next. Next thing I want to do, let's even start from test here. I'm going to write new test here. Actually, I'm going to copy the one that has a pure. Make sure card is card object has a property to display images. My idea right here is like every card should point to image location, for example, corresponding. Let's say in this case I have a card 9 of diamond. I should have an actual card image somewhere in my, so it should be able to give the location of that card. That's what the next thing that we're trying to do. So how can let's do that. We're also going to drive by my image card. Let's say the same one, and then we already verified that. We don't really care about this test, but I expect to have image card image path. Let's give it card image path. I expect my object to have that property called card image path. Of course, as you guess, it's going to fail. It doesn't really exist that property yet. So we have one failing test here. Two of them. We have 3 total tests. Out of those, 2 of them are passing and 1 failing test here. It is saying, hey, you don't have this property defined in your object called card. That's fine. We can go here and we're going to say, all right, that's not what I mean to do. I wanted to copy this guy, this property. So remember, this property is dependent property. I mean, it depends upon what kind of suit and what kind of value the face value card has, because we have those 52 cards already distinct. So the value of this one depends upon those 2 values. That's why we need some sort of function here. Let's say this get card image path. Because this guy doesn't exist here, we need to go ahead and create by using prototype chain. We're going to say here's my card, should have prototype, and then in prototype chain we're going to add that method. Okay. Just for now, I want to return empty string. Even this one, I want to drive by a unit test here. Of course, this should pass now. Okay, why distinct card failed? More details. See above for more details. My property card reference my property card is not defined. Sorry for that, guys. Of course, this property is right here in different block. That is really, really cool. See that you will see the benefits of all the mistake developer makes when you write a test-driven development. Imagine like you keep on writing code and that piece of code was caught way down the road, even like sometime way too late. You know, maybe that bug crept into in your deployment. Okay, now it should pass. Okay, we have three tests so far. All of them are passing. Remember, like we want to have. Let's define. We expect this path value to be. We can display as property display image. Okay, so we're gonna say, all right. We're gonna write another expectation. Our expectation is my card, my image card. Image card image path is use equal method here. We expect the card path to point to the location of the card, something like that. Okay. Right now, so we expect, given the we expect, let's say I haven't those images or those public folder. I haven't created any of those, but we will do as we develop this one, as we have all our logic has been hammered out. So I would say, all right, I expect maybe a card locations. I'll just say a cards folder. In there, maybe I might have images here, something like that. And image should have maybe well, let me hard code this one for now. Okay, it should be something like 9 of diamonds, 9 of diamonds dot png, or I should have some sort of png or any kind of image file there. So given this card, I'm expecting this kind of the location here. Let's see, of course it's not gonna pass here, it definitely should fail. Okay, so our expectation, this is what we were expecting, but we didn't get that because we got empty, right? So we need to fix this one. Let's go and write some code. So this guy should be returning. Let's write very basic code. Bar location equals to that, and then so basically then how it's gonna look like, we're gonna take basically, okay, we take, even before that, let's have a reference to our object here, and then let's say a self name. That's what we are giving 9 as the name of the card, right? And that literal string of and well, it's gonna be little. So we need to decide how we're gonna have our card. Then basically we're gonna say just for now I'm gonna say self.d, the name of the suit. This is and file extension .png, something like that. But it's still gonna fail because we are passing a little differently, because so I want to pass, instead of d, I want to say the whole name, the whole suit name, just to make this pass. And how we're gonna do is that we can decide next. All right. Okay, why is it not passing? Steam module is property to display image expected undefined to equal. Oh. Oh my goodness, see? Because my method right here is not returning anything. That's undefined. That's, oh, thank you so much. See how nice it is, a test driven. And yeah, now it should pass. All our mistake is being caught by the test. So we were our expected value, and then we were expecting cards, images, 9 of, that's what we got, but we were looking for 9 of diamonds. Oh, images. Yeah, I'm missing the underscore. So okay, this one is just to make the test pass, but we will decide how we're gonna do this one later once we have our images and how their name. Why is it not passing? Oh, see the capital letter. Doop, doop. Diamonds, and I'm passing capital instead of passing like this. This passed like that, all lowercase, so at least it would pass. Okay, all our tests are good now. They are passing. Properties. We have 3 tests here in our suite for the card object, and all of them are passing. So at this point, you know what, we have a card object defined. In the next video tutorial, what we're going to do, we're going to create a deck of cards, okay, and then we go from there. Alright guys, thank you so much. This is going to be the first part, and then look forward to the next videos coming. We'll be creating a deck and all those things, okay? Thank you so much for watching.